Hey guys, this is Steli FT with Closeout. I'm still stuck in Europe, specifically in Greece. It's kind of dark and gray and rainy outside. Kind of reminds me why I've never been to Greece in November before. For those of you who don't know, my passport was stolen in Zurich just a little while ago, and now I'm here in Greece to get a new passport so I can get a new US visa so I can finally, get back to the US and Silicon Valley. In the meanwhile, just a few weeks ago, I was at Pioneers Festival in Vienna. It was an amazing event, just like last year. And I had an amazing time on stage and off stage, met some incredible people. And one cool thing that they did at this year's Pioneers Festival is that they gave people the ability to download an app and ask questions to people on stage. Now, my talk went a little longer than expected, so I wasn't able to answer all questions that were asked by the audience. So Jürgen, one of the founders of Pioneers Festival, just sent me an email with the community questions asking me if I could take some time to actually answer some of them. And since I have pretty much nothing better to do at this point than wait for my new passport to get done, I thought, why not record a quick video and answer your awesome questions. So for those of you who weren't there and haven't seen the talk, I'm sure the video is going to come out. We're going to link to the video in this video so you have some context. But in my talk, I talked about hustling hard and hustling hard every single day. I talked about the emotional challenges of being consistent and bringing it every single day when you start a new venture in a startup, and how sales is really an emotional game and a psychological game more so than a game of logic or strategy. The formula that I presented for hustling that I've shared many times with you guys is showing up, following up, and going for the close. And that's really no rocket science. But the thing that makes it really hard and the reason why people don't do it more and don't really step outside their comfort zone and their the area of their expertise, the area they feel comfortable and confident in, is that we're all afraid. We have emotional fears, we have hesitations, we have shame, we have ego. All these emotions are really holding us back. And I talked about some of the things that I do to turn these negative emotions into a driver for growth and for hustling. Now, let's get to the question part, right? So first question that I wasn't able to answer on stage, I want to answer right now. Somebody asking, hey, how did you get through that up and down period in your life? And how did you actually turn that around and become consistent? So I shared the story of, early in my life, I knew that I was pretty good in sales and I was able to convince people of my ideas, of my products, services, whatever it was that I was doing in my entrepreneurial journey. But my problem for the first 5, 6, 7 years of my entrepreneurial career was that I was completely and utterly inconsistent, right? I had ups and downs. I had moments of brilliance, of magic, and then I had moments where I just was canceling all my meetings. I wasn't feeling like anything. I was going through like huge swings in moods. Hence, I was always feeling the internal pressure and unhappiness and unsatisfaction of knowing that I'm not living up to my full potential. Now, how did I get away from being so inconsistent in sales and entrepreneurship, becoming really consistent? I want to share just one thing that I shared on stage, and it's really the only answer that I have for you. And that's that I've learned that the difference between the coward and the hero is not that one feels no fear and the other feels fear, and hence the hero steps into action and the coward is stifled by his fear. Both of them feel fear. The difference between the hero and the coward is the hero acts despite his fear, while the coward is stopped by it. And I truly believe that's the difference between success and failure and greatness and mediocrity, is not that you feel sometimes down or depressed or hesitant or fearful or shame. We all feel these emotions. I feel these emotions daily. I just learned to act despite of them. So today, when I feel like, I don't feel like making a video, which is how I felt just before I clicked the record button. When I'm like, I don't feel like recording a video, this hotel room is really dark, I don't look that great today, I'm not in the mood for making a video, I tell myself to shut the fuck up and do it anyways. I tell myself, Who cares? Do it anyways. Who cares? Do it anyways has become sort of my internal mantra, and it's helped me tremendously to really become consistent and do things on a daily basis that I don't feel like. So that's pretty much it. I don't have a more magical secret to you. Just every single day I've learned to overcome my own emotions by telling myself to shut the fuck up and do it anyways. All right, I hope that helps. Next question. Can you perform your hustling attitude also in your private environment in life or just in business? No, I do believe that you can hustle hard in your private life, and hustling hard can be an attitude about bringing it every single day in the way that you make your partner happy or the way that you interact with your children or your family. Hustling hard means showing up for your family, following up and following through on your word when people need you, and going for the close. I don't know. I need to think about a metaphor for that in private life. But I do think that in private life, you need to hustle as well. And maybe this example of me being in Greece is a good one, because right now I have to hustle really hard to get my passport, get my visa, and be able to actually travel back. And I can't tell you how many times people told me it's not possible, and just by not accepting that, I was able to move forward. So when they stole my passport in Zurich, I went to Germany because I have family there. I went to the Greek consulate and I asked somebody, how can I get my passport back, or how can I get a new passport, because I need to travel back to the US. The first thing they told me was, Stali, we're sorry, but when they steal your passport in Greece, we have a block for 3 months. We cannot give you a new passport. So we cannot do anything for you. If I had accepted that, I'd be fucked. I'd have to stay for another 3 months in Europe. You know what I did? I said, it's not possible. It is not possible that I have to stay here for 3 months. There must be a way. There must be a way. They told me no at the consulate. What did I do? I called everyone that I knew in Greece and in Germany who had Greek connections, and try to see if I can get to somebody in the government in Greece or the police, which is the place where in Greece you get your passport from. And we finally found somebody in Greece, and that person told me that there is a way to get a temporary passport for a situation like mine. So I went back to the consulate and I told them, dudes, I called the police in Greece. They told me there's this specific thing you should be able to do for me. Let's do it. You know what they said? That's interesting. We never had a case like that before, but if you say they told you that there is such a thing, all right, let's research that. After they figured out that there is such a thing, they told me, well, we're going to send the application. It might take a week for them to get it. It might take another week for them to send it back. If there's something missing, this might go on for a little while. We just want to prepare you. And I told them, you know what? Can you give me a piece of paper so I can travel back to Greece at least? So I can actually be there and make sure that this whole process gets done faster? And they said, yes, we can give you a piece of paper with some stamps on it. They should let you travel back to Greece from Germany, and only to Greece, to be able to handle this. So that's what I did. And when I went to the airport, what was the first thing they told me? Unfortunately, I booked a flight that was going from Germany to Serbia and then to Greece because it was the cheapest and fastest option I could find, and I didn't think it through. The first thing they told me at the check-in counter was, sorry, Mr. Afti, but with this piece of paper, you can only fly directly to Greece from Germany. They will not allow you to fly to Serbia. Sorry, you need to book another flight. We can't let you on this flight. And what did I say? I said, there is no way I'm not going to get on this flight today. Please bring somebody, let me talk to somebody that has authority, because there must be a way. There must be a way. I'm simply not accepting this. And what happened? A little while later, 20 minutes later, the whoever that person was, the boss, of the ladies at the check-in counter, the person comes in, talks to me and says, you know what, it's not a problem. You're going to be able to go through Serbia with this. I go through German police, and police stops me, and the police officer that tells me then I'm going to let you through, but in Serbia, the police with this piece of paper will not let you through. You're going to be stuck in Serbia, dude. Don't do it. Cancel the flight and just book another flight. Don't go. You're going to be stuck in Serbia. You know what I told him? I'm going to take the risk. Let me figure it out once I'm there. But right now, if you let me through, I'm getting on this flight. There's no way I'm gonna delay this process. I'm getting on this flight, and if I have the problem in Serbia, I'm gonna deal with it in Serbia. When I was in Serbia, you know, I had no police controls till the very last moment, and then there was a last check-in, and all of a sudden police shows up, and I think, holy shit, this is the moment where I'm gonna get stuck in fucking Serbia. I mean, I love Serbia, but being stuck in Germany or Greece, it's easier because I speak the language, I know people. Serbia would have been a lot harder place for me to get stuck at. So I'm like, holy shit, this is the moment where this whole story is gonna get even more difficult and more challenging for me. But let's see, let's not panic, let's see what happens. And I go through the control, and there is a person that checks the passports and the tickets. And by the time I get to the person, I give them that piece of paper and I tell that person the story. And she looks at me and she looks at the piece of paper and she looks at me again. And she looks at the piece of paper and then she looks at me again. And then she looks at her watch and she goes, all right. You could tell she was like, all right, I don't want to deal with all the problems of challenging this piece of paper at this time. Who cares? Who gives a shit? And I got on a flight and I arrived here. And I don't want to keep going on with the story because the story keeps going on people telling me this will not work or here's an obstacle that you won't be able to take. And I keep telling people I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to be stopped by you or anything. And magically, a door opens and a new pathway shines through and I'm able to actually do the thing that somebody told me I'm not going to be able to do. So can you hustle in your personal life? Fuck yeah, you can. And it's not just when challenges arise. You can hustle in being an amazing husband, an amazing wife, an amazing father or mother, an amazing brother or sister, an amazing daughter or son. You can hustle, bring it, show up, follow up, and go the extra mile every single day to make things happen in your personal life just like you can do in your business life. So can you hustle hard in your personal life? Yes, you can. All right, next question. So how do you handling hustling hard in your startup with two little babies? For those of you who don't know, I'm a dad. I have a 2-year-old and I have an 8-month-old baby, two little hustling baby boys. How do you do that? How do you hustle hard with two babies? Do you have any tips on keeping your balance? And yes, I do. I think that, having babies is an amazing forcing function in my life to keep more balance. So I love to work. I love the hustle. And if there aren't things in my life that keep me grounded and that create kind of an anchoring function in my life, I'm always gonna naturally push too hard, do too much, and go off balance, which is a bad thing in the long term because hustling hard is about consistency, bringing it every single day, not 18 days for 2 days and then you're burned out. Just every single day for a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, every single day. You don't have to hustle hard for 10 hours or 20 hours a day. You just have to hustle hard for 3, 4, 5 hours every single day. Every single day. The things you're going to accomplish are going to be incredible. So having babies actually helps me being grounded and being balanced. I want to be around my children. I love my children. I want to be around them. So just by that fact, I wake up in the morning at 7 a.m. usually. I spend the first hour and a half with my children, usually with my oldest one. I put out his pajamas, put on his clothes. We have breakfast together. We play the guitar together. We play. So the beginning of the day starts off with me spending some time with my children. And then I go on and off to work. And I come back usually between 5 to 6 p.m. to have dinner with my children and to put them to bed. So, for an entrepreneur, for a founder in Silicon Valley that's a CEO, I work, I leave my house at around 8:30 and I come back around 6. Yes, that's like 9-10 hours a day, but I only work 5 days a week. On the weekends, I don't work at all. And I spend every day the morning with my children and the evening with my children. So that's pretty balanced. And I know many people that don't do that or don't feel like they can. But I've learned that if I don't keep a certain level of a balance, I won't be able to be consistent in my performance. And that's really what I'm looking for, bringing it every single day. I'd rather bring it 2 hours, hustling really hard every single day for 2 hours, than hustling so for 18 hours every day. So actually, my babies help me being grounded. My babies help me being balanced. And whenever I have a day where I feel like, holy shit, I didn't accomplish enough today, and I'm just about to write my wife, I'm not going to make it today at 6. I'm going to stay late in the office and work really, really late. And I've done this many, many times. I start writing that message, and then I stop myself and I ask myself, did I really give it my all today? Was I really productive? Did I really focus on what was important? Or did I fuck around and waste time? And I always have to tell myself, yeah, today I didn't do what was necessary. And then I delete that message and I tell myself, you know what? If you didn't bring it today, you're not going to let your family and your children suffer. Fuck you. If you didn't bring it today, you're not going to take the lazy way out, the easy way out, and you're just going to, increase the number of hours in the day. No, go home, be a dad, you get off work, and then tomorrow when you show up at work, you have to bring it. You have to actually catch up on the opportunities that you missed today. Don't just make the day longer because you were lazy or stupid or unfocused or you didn't bring it. So I hold myself to that standard, and it's very uncomfortable because there's plenty of times where I really want to give myself a few more hours. But by doing that, it helps me stay focused. It helps me stay effective and productive. And it's been a great thing in my life. It's made me a better entrepreneur. All right, next question. How do you get over yourself, Stelly? How do you manage to control your consistency, your mood? Do you do yoga or things like that? That's a great question. I actually want to do more yoga and things like that. But I don't right now. But how do I get over myself? Well, one thing is I have a mantra, which is shut the fuck up and do it anyways. And I tell myself that multiple times a day. Whenever I'm like, I don't feel like it, or I don't know if I should do it. Well, today's not the perfect day. Whenever I have a whiny voice that tells me to not do something, whenever I feel fearful or shame or hesitation or whatever it is, I tell myself to shut the fuck up and get over yourself. Do it anyways. Well, you're not going to do it well right now. Do it anyways. That's what I told myself before this video. You're not going to make a great video. Whatever. Do it anyways. So that's one way. That's my mantra of getting over myself. The next thing that I do to kind of manage my moods is that I start every day with asking myself 5 fundamental questions. So I use Evernote. I love Evernote. And every day I have like a folder that's 5 questions. Every day I write the date of the day and I have 5 fundamental questions that I answer before I start my day. That helps me keep myself grounded and also gives me a little bit of perspective. So I'm not all consumed by my problems and challenges. And these 5 questions, they might change over time, and you might find whatever the questions are that are going to be right for you might be different from those that I have. But the question that I ask myself are simple things. Things like, what is the one thing that I want to accomplish today that's going to make a difference? Questions like, what am I grateful today? What am I grateful for? Because I truly believe that gratefulness and appreciation is the currency you pay the universe with. And the more you pay the universe, the more it pays you back. So I try to be grateful and appreciative of the things I have in my life. So I ask myself, what do I appreciate in life? What am I grateful for? Questions like that. Nothing groundbreaking. You can find 5 questions that are right for you, or just 3, or whatever it is. But the crucial thing is that I've been doing this for over 480 days. Since I started. I've been doing it every single day. Every single day I start the day by writing down the answers to 5 fundamental questions for me, and it helps me kind of gain clarity at the beginning of the day and gain clarity of what I want to accomplish and gain some perspective, so I'm not all consumed by my challenges and problems and the things that are going on in my life right now, but I have a little bit more perspective over it. So that's it. I've been meditating on and off. I don't always do it. Whenever I do it, it's awesome. So I can totally recommend it. And when I meditate, I'm not dogmatic about it. So I don't do it for 30 minutes or 60 minutes. I usually take some time off in the middle of the day. I go for a walk and I'll sit down. And I might just meditate one day for 2 minutes and the other day for 20 minutes and maybe for one day for 30. Whatever I feel like it, I go with the flow. I don't create any pressure or stress or don't make it competitive. But meditation has been a great balancing and anchoring mechanism in my life. Starting my day with the fundamental 5 questions that kind of drive my day and drive my perspective has been something to help me manage my moods and be more consistent. And my all-time favorite, my personal mantra, shut the fuck up and do it anyways. I hope that the answers to those questions have been helpful to you guys. Thanks again so much for inviting me to Pioneers Festival. It's been a fucking amazing and wild ride. And send me an email, Steli, Steli at close.io, Steli at close.io. If you want to talk about hustling, sales, entrepreneurship, emotional alchemy, how to get over yourself, send me an email and I'll try to help as much as I can. All right, guys, let me get back to hustling that passport and get back to the US as quickly as possible. Bye-bye.